Alright, well, I'm going to say something and see if you guys are listening. Can you guys hear me out there in the chat scroll thing? The chat roll. Alright, we got contact. Great. Wait, somebody said no mic? You don't hear me? Okay, you can hear me. Okay, great. There's nothing like starting a stream, a live stream, and then 5 minutes after saying a bunch of stuff, somebody's like, "We can't hear you." It's like, oh, I got to say that all over again. But we took a little extra. I was like, let's do some tests and make sure everything works, and it works. So we're good to go. And welcome to our June live stream Q&A. And I'm John Slayball, lead developer for Day of Dragons. And I have with me here today your favorite managers, Midnight, our community manager, and Bad Parrot, our production manager. Midnight, Parrot, are you guys there? Midnight, Parrot, are you guys there? Uh-oh. We might have to find them. I don't think they're here. I don't see them. I might have to go find them here in just a little bit, and we'll see where they're hiding. But we haven't had a live stream in, I think, 2 months. Has it been 2 months, 3 months? I lose track of time. Time just flies by, so I'm going to show you guys some stuff today, but before I get into showing you guys some stuff, I want to make just kind of give you an update on where we're at, what's been going on the last couple months. So we switched Day of Dragons. Well, you all know, like, we started last year. We migrated from Unreal 4.23 to Unreal Engine 5. And that took us a while to get everything moved over to the new engine, and we had a lot of testing to do with new technologies and stuff. Unreal 5, they introduced a lot of new tech, things that we definitely wanted to use in Day of Dragons, things that we really needed in Day of Dragons, especially like large world coordinates, 64-bit floating point precision, which allows you to have like really large worlds and not get a bunch of desync and lag. So that was probably the number one factor in us choosing to switch over to Unreal Engine 5 was the 64-bit precision, because in a 32-bit world you're really limited on how big of a map you can have or how many maps you can have, because there's just not enough room. And in a 64-bit world you don't have that issue, so it gives us a lot of space. So we made the switch to Unreal 5. A lot of things were buggy and broken in 5.0, so we waited for Unreal 5.1. Unreal 5.1 came out. They fixed a lot of things. Some things they introduced more technology that was broken, so we had a broken engine in Unreal 5.1. Do not use, if you are playing around with Unreal Engine 5, do not use Unreal Engine 5.1. It's got a lot of issues. Unreal Engine 5.0 is really good if you just want a couple of the new features, but also want to keep using a lot of the old features of Unreal 4. But Unreal 5.2 is what I would call the first production ready version of Unreal Engine 5, and so we switched over to that. Then we went ahead and started digging into the new technologies, especially the world partition, and for the mega map, and we found out that world partition works great in single player. There's some bugs going on with it in multiplayer, Also the new netcode that Unreal Engine or Epic Games put out with Unreal 5 called Iris. Iris is kind of needed to use world partition because it's not limited by grids like a replication graph, and but it's really buggy right now. It's in an experimental state, and but we tried it. We tried that. We found out that it's broken. So a lot of testing has been going on, but we went back to using some of the technology in Unreal Engine 4, and with a little modification to the engine, I got what I had working in Unreal Engine 4 working in Unreal Engine 5. So we're going to show you guys that today in the live stream, and it's pretty exciting. And I know I can really ramble on about techie type stuff, but it's really interesting to me. You guys like hearing about technical stuff like that? I don't know. Or maybe you guys just want to hear about the game. It's kind of like they go hand in hand, though. You got talk about tech if you want to talk about like game development. So, but we've been full steam ahead working on getting update 1.0 out, and our animation team has almost completely finished all the animations for 1.0. There's only like just a couple of emotes left, I think. I think we got all the juvies and the baby animations are done. So there's just like a couple of the emotes that are coming in the emote pack, and we've already started working on things for update 1.1. Some of the devs, not me, I'm still working on update 1.0. But just about everybody is ahead of me. I'm like the one that's like still working on 1.0. But a lot of the new systems and stuff is pretty much just waiting to be integrated into Dave Dragons, so that we can release 1.0. And a lot of the hold up on a lot of that was because I had to check what type of, because this is a multiplayer game, so I had to be sure of what kind of networking situation we were going to go with, because I want to have a really good netcode, and which technology I was going to use. Am I going to use world partition? Am I going to use level streaming? Am I going to use Iris? Am I going to use replication graph? Am I going to use Unreal Engine's base networking? So I had to go through all these different tests that I had to check which works best for us. And I can happily say that we are very see here today, and it works great. It's basically a better version of what I was working on in Unreal Engine 4. So without further ado, let's go find Midnight. Oh, and by the way, this is I'm an Elder Flamestalker right now, and this is the desert map with all settings on high and lumen, nanite, all that good stuff. Speaking of which, let's see, all settings on high, and I'm using high definition shadows, or aka virtual shadow maps. I'm going to turn everything on medium and let you guys see what things look like with everything on medium. So that's the difference between high and medium, and my frame rate just jumped up like 15 frames a second just to go to medium, and it still looks really, really good. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn things on low. And that's what the game looks like on low settings. So even with really, with all settings on low, it's still looking really, really good. And I'm getting a solid 60 FPS right now. I could turn lighting on low, but I'm already getting 60 FPS. And by the way, Epic Games does not recommend running Unreal Engine 5 on Epic settings unless you have like a 3080. So when you play Day of Dragons, you're really going to want to keep your settings between low, medium, or high, unless you have a really good graphics card, and then you can crank them up to Epic. And if you're crazy, you can switch your settings on, be awesome. But I don't recommend it. You might, your graphics card might burn out. But right now we're running on high, and I'm getting 43 frames per second, 45. Let me get that. I'm gonna switch them down to the lighting. Yep. Alright. That gave me 10 more FPS. Oh, these are our new portals, yeah. And I'm going through a portal, and I'm gonna go try to find midnight. Let's see if I can find midnight here. Because midnight is supposed to be here in the dev stream. Oh, looky what I found over here. Little acid spitter. Well, hello, Midnight.
Oh, hi, Joe.
What were you doing over here in the jungle?
I was just taking a look at all the new things that I see.
Oh, it does look pretty cool over here.
Have you seen Parrot anywhere? I've been trying to find her all day today.
Oh, have you looked all over the jungle?
I've looked all over the jungle, but nothing.
Well, I looked all over the desert earlier and I didn't see her, so there's only one other place she could be.
Did we want to go check out the lava lands?
Yeah, I think we should. And let's go see if we can find Parrot. Although I'm getting stuck on every little branch. I am a lot bigger than you, so.
You are a very big flame stalker.
Alright, I'm back in the desert. Are you coming?
Yep, I'm on my way.
So the portal tech is basically level streaming. With 64-bit precision, I'm able to have as many levels in the world pretty much as I want. And I can have a lot of levels and it doesn't cause any type of location lag or desync. And actually the more levels there are, the more spread out players are, and that means that less lag, replication lag or network lag, because players are more spread out across the world. So in a sense, it's actually more performant than having a huge continent like the Mega Map. But one of the changes I made hello Midnight, there you are. One of the changes I made is that the server now supports the ability to have multiple different maps with multiple different technologies. Hold on, I just popped through the lava lands. Here I am rambling. I was talking and driving at the same time. Welcome to the lava lands. But I want to finish my rant real quick. So I made some changes to the game, and now we can have small maps that are just small single maps, or I can have what I call a portal world, where I have lots and lots of maps that are all connected through portals. And so I can have that in the game now, or I can even then have the mega map using world partition. So I can use any of those three different types or ways of making maps in the game, and you can switch back and forth just by changing the map name in the server config. And the game now saves different maps like player progress on a per world basis. So like if I'm playing on just like a small survival map, player progress is saved just for that map. And then if I switch over to like the what I call the Genesis map, which is what we're on right now, that's Portal World, then that progress is saved separately. So server owners can have a deathmatch, map for the weekend, and then Monday through Friday back to like the Genesis map, and all player progress is saved. And it also allows me to allow for modding later on, so players can make their own maps, and the progress for those player-made maps would be saved separately as well. So that's pretty cool. Oh, welcome to the lava lands, by the way. I don't see Parrot anywhere close, but I know she's out here. She's got to be. She's not in the desert. She's not in the jungle. That's our way back right there. We can find her. So the Lava Lands map that we're on right now, this is a project I started I think 2 years ago, and not recently, but this year I started working on it again and picked up where I left off. And so this map is it's got its own ambience. It does have weather, as you can hear. You can probably hear the thunder in the background. But it's designed to be like a very dark lava-y map, and there's also a burning forest on the map. And that down there is like, I call it death fog. You go down there and you die, pretty much. But there's also like these little inlets in the sides of these cliffs where you can maybe have clans or a nest. And there's also these little islands, which I just... Ow. Now, if I die, that's going to be embarrassing. I'm going to turn super on. So there's like these little inlets that some are bigger than, some are a lot bigger than this. But the idea is that I'm going to make these into like little caves into the cliffs that players will be able to live in or whatever. And hopefully the idea is to have like a cave network. Some of the caves would like be connected to other caves, and so there would be like this whole underground network on the map of caves. I brought back the waypoint system where waypoints can be saved across maps. So I can have a waypoint saved in the Lava Lands, and then I can switch over to the dangerous dunes, and I can then save a waypoint there. If I go back to Lava Lands, my old waypoint is still saved. Where did you go, Midnight?
I went to go check out the lava and took a look inside. Still can't find Parrot though.
Okay, well I'm gonna fly around and see if I can find her. This, by the way, the Lava Lands map is my own work, so I made that volcano, I made this landscape, so it wasn't made by a third party. I built this landscape myself. The volcano is like really, really cool. I love it. What is that down there in the lava? Man, oh man, what is that? Forgot to turn off name tags. But you all just have to pretend that you didn't see that. I found bad parrot. Oh, I just friendly called bad parrot. I'm glad bad parrot doesn't have a bile attack. Hint, hint. Oh my word. I guess parrot does have a bile attack. Poor Midnight. I knew her well. I think Bad Parrot is trying to pick up Midnight there.
I need it.
Oh, hello, Bad Parrot.
Oh, hi. Didn't see you guys.
Yeah, didn't just kill Midnight?
Oh, no, that wasn't me.
Oh.
I'm gonna get rid of the evidence.
What were you doing over here in the lava anyway? Oh. You just threw her behind you.
Now there's no evidence.
Nice. Well, I think the players would like to see some of the things that you can do.
Oh, sure.
Show, hit me with that pound attack. Watch me get knocked back. So that's pretty cool. And then there's another version where it has a finishing move, but don't kill me. Show them that. Show them the finishing move. That was pretty cool. Glad you didn't kill me, because I'm gonna have to fly all the way back over here. What else can you do?
Well, I can stomp. That was not it.
That was not it. Cool, cool. No sound for that yet.
And I can do a cooler pound attack.
Nice. No sound for that one either.
I can swipe,
Nice.
and I can throw little things.
Little invisible things. We're pretending that you actually are holding something right now.
And I can throw big things.
Nice. Very nice.
And I can throw dead bodies, but I think I threw it to the mountain, so I can't do that again.
Well, what about if you were drinking lava? Let's see that.
Oh yeah,
again.
I'm a little thirsty.
Midnight, could you like get another acid spitter so that somebody can like
Throw me?
show us
Definitely.
the eating and stuff?
Oh yes, delicious.
Let's see you drink some lava.
I'm a little thirsty.
Well, it's actually not drinking; it's more like absorbing the lava, but it's same thing.
That's some top-notch lava right there.
It looks very spicy.
It is. It's got a kick.
Maybe some players haven't seen all your emotes.
Oh yeah. That was the roar broadcast. And then if I'm angry, and then if I see another elemental and we want to be friends, or if I need some backup.
Do elementals ever need backup?
I need friends.
Everybody
Hello.
needs a little friend. Somebody wants to see that finishing move again. That's a pretty dangerous looking spike you got there.
Thank you. Midnight, I'm very hungry. Where are you?
I'm on my way. Let me tell you, the lava lanes is pretty big. That's a spinner.
I don't think anybody will complain if you teleport to Bad Parrot. You're allowed to cheat just this once, though.
Dead.
Now let's see that eating animation.
Looks delicious.
Looks very delicious.
Very spicy.
Nice. Maybe you can, yeah, let's see you do that throw again. It's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I just gotta hide the evidence.
Yeah. Before the admins see what you did.
Bye.
I didn't even see that.
It went really far away.
Oh. Somebody forgot to turn on heat for the elemental.
I'm actually very cold right now.
And you look cold. Let me warm you up a little bit.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see
Sorry,
your,
there was a bug.
let's see your lava again. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Well, I'm going to fly around a little bit and look around the lava lands.
Okay, I'm gonna get back to my puddle of lava.
Yeah, you look like you might need another drink.
Very thirsty.
Alright, that's quite a view up here. Oh yeah, thank you. I've been flying for quite a while, probably longer than anybody else in this game. Seeing how I made the flight system. But all that being said, we're doing our live stream a little different this time. We are going to go, I think our next live stream will have all the content creators back with us again. But we wanted to do things a little different this time. And we hope you all enjoyed our little totally not scripted intro to the lava lands. And that said, what did you guys think? Let us know down there in the chat scroll what you all think of what you saw so far. And we asked people earlier to write down questions because this is a dev Q&A. So Midnight and Parrot have been gathering those questions together, and I think Parrot's going to read them off to me, and so we're going to start taking questions. If you are tuning into the live stream and you have a question, you can do what Pedro just did and do @BeAwesomeGames, and it'll show up red. and then we'll be able to answer those questions. All right, Bad Parrot, you got any questions for me?
I do. The first question is, will there be weekly or week early access like we did for the other critters, like the Flamestalker, when we release 1.0?
Yes. The Kickstarters that pledged back in 2019 for the beta access perk, of course the old alpha beta is over, it's gone, and we didn't want that perk to like not exist anymore. So we turned that perk into Head Start access. So Kickstarters that have that beta access perk, they get 3 days head start to new dragon content brought into the game that's not DLC. So if you have a DLC, then you get it when it's ready. You don't have to wait 3 days. But for things like the Inferno Ravager, the Frostfell, things like that are coming to the game, people with the 3-day head start, there's going to be a patch where they get access to it, and then we'll do a patch 3 days later that unlocks it for everybody. So, but the bio is not, is considered a DLC, so there's no 3-day head start with the bio or the Blitz. Those are both DLCs. So.
The next question is, will the shadow scale skins look more like the concept image with the star pattern?
I'm not 100% sure. We are doing custom skins with update 1.0 and going forward. The custom skins will be unique, and then we also are going to have, through nesting, a way for players to customize skins through color swatches that are inherited through breeding. So, but there's a chance that those types of skins that you mentioned will show up as custom skins, which in the game they're called exotic skins.
The next question is, will the Sandslayer worms be found at a set spawn point, or will they move and follow the characters?
Sandslayer worms will be in an area of the dunes, and if you go into that area, they will hunt you, yes. But they won't leave that area and end up at a pond somewhere where everybody's been nesting.
And then, in addition to that question, when they die, will they have a set death animation? And if so, how will we manage it clipping when it hits the ground?
They do have death animations, and there's going to be some clipping. You just can't avoid that. But when they're laying on the ground, they're going to look like they're on the ground, not in the ground. So.
And then when elementals throw rocks, will they have to find rocks to throw, or will they have an infinite supply of rocks?
That's a good question. Right now we're leaning towards infinite supply of rocks. They just pull rocks up out of the ground. But it wouldn't make sense that if they were in the ocean, or if they were in the desert, I don't know if they're going to find it. But right now we're leaning towards infinite rocks.
Are there any plans for dodge maneuvers while flying?
Oh, I get asked this question a lot. Maybe. Those types of things are really easy to do in walking in air flight because you're basically just walking with no gravity. That's how just about every game, 99% of all games, they use no gravity flight, walking to simulate flight. And it's very easy for the engine to, give you dodges and rolls when you're walking in the air. Day of Dragons uses a real physics-based flight system, so dodges are a little more difficult.
And will weather affect flying? Like, will there be wind resistance or other effects?
I don't know. I don't know yet.
Will there be a dragon that is almost unstoppable, but very hard to grow or even get?
The behemoths are they pretty much fill that category. Behemoths are the biggest playable dragons in the game, but the only thing bigger than the behemoths that's like the super in-game content will be like the Leviathan class, and they are going to be extremely hard to get. Super in-game type content. And the first Leviathan that we're going to have in the game is going to be a Hydra, a three-headed elemental dragon.
Will elementals be able to see global chat or dragon chat, and will they be able to talk to each other?
Elementals can talk to each other. They can see dragon chat, but they can't understand it. It shows up as a draconic language to them, they won't know what they're saying. But if it's an admin, they can understand the admin. The admin chat works across species. But if it's just a player, they won't understand what they're saying.
Will the bio be the only dragon that can do a true hover?
For now, there might be other hover dragons in the game later.
Will players have enough stam to fly above the clouds?
Yes. I recently introduced something called Second Wind, and Second Wind stamina. When you are really low on stamina, you have what's called a second wind pool, and that second wind pool only fills up if you rest. So, and then it doesn't recharge unless you rest again. So, when you are running really low on stamina, that second wind will start feeding stamina into your main stamina pool until it's depleted, and that allows you to reach above the clouds.
Is it possible to smoothen the takeoff, the transition from mid jump to flight mode?
Oh, probably when I get to the polish phase. Right now, what's important now is getting the new content in the game and getting it working. And once all the new stuff is in and it's working and it's in a state where it's playable, then you know, I keep putting in new stuff and getting it working and playable. And then after all the needed content is in the game, working and playable, then I go to the polish phase where I make it really nice, you know. But we're not at the polish phase yet.
Is there going to be any two-person interactive emotes that require both parties to press the button at the same time or seek the other player's consent before the emote plays?
I don't know. I've never thought of that.
Will the Inferno Ravager be able to burn out poison?
Burn out poison?
I'm guessing they mean burn off the poison?
I mean acid?
Maybe.
The Inferno Ravager does burn off his acid, yeah. So if you have the decay on you and you ignite your Inferno, it burns off the decay off of you, but at the same time it also does a lot of damage. So you have like this one-time big damage done to you because you burn off all that acid, but then you're not decaying anymore. So, but yeah, that's already in the game.
Will Blitz Strikers struggle more to take off from into the air when they're juveniles because they don't have legs?
The Blitz?
Yeah.
I don't. Blitz will be able to fly as a hatchling, so they're able to take off as early as hatchling age.
In what update will other dragons be coming? For example, the Singe Crest.
The Singe Crest and the Nurse Dragon that we haven't named yet, those are coming in update 1.1.
Are there any plans in the future to bring the game to consoles such as PS5?
For me to bring Day of Dragons to console, it's going to have to be a single player game because DOT is so integrated with Steam for multiplayer that I would have to rework the entire multiplayer aspect of the game to get it on console. That'd be a lot of work. But once there's a single player version of Day of Dragons, there's nothing to stop me from putting it on console because you know, single player is easy. Multiplayer, that's the real challenge.
Are there plans to have interactive water?
Yep.
Are other dragons other than the bio going to be able to take off from water?
Eventually.
In the current beta, it's really hard to see for a time right at dusk and dawn because it gets really foggy. Is this on purpose?
Yes.
And will this persist in the next version?
I don't know yet. I have to wait until I get to the lighting where I'm like tweaking the lighting.
What is your favorite element for the dragons?
My favorite element? like all of them.
And the question everybody wants to know.
When is it going to come out?
Yes, that is the question.
Well, I'll let you answer that one.
We're hoping for the 3rd or 4th quarter of this year. So before the end of the year, we're hoping for. Will the Rhino AI be in the 1.0 update?
No. I think 1.2? Maybe 1.1? I can't remember. It's all in the Trello.
And the golden skins that we previewed on Patreon are not the same as the ones in game. I think they're talking about the white and black and the the white and gold and black. Will they be implemented into the game for 1.0?
It's going to be up to the players to make those in update 1.0. They'll have to make them using the new skin features through nesting.
Will there be quests, bosses, etc. in PvE?
There will definitely be quests coming, and did you say will there be quests in PvP?
PvE.
Well, definitely in PvE. I think they're going to be in just about every game mode. PvP, PvE, CVC, DvE.
Will we be reworking the fire bile attack for the Flamestalker and Inferno Ravager since they don't line up with the pointer all the time?
I have to look at that. I think what they're asking is the hitbox isn't based off of the particle collision, it's based off of a hitbox, and the particles do what the particles want to do, and the hitbox is attached to the character and not the actual fire particles, and they would like that there to be like particle collision. The issue with that is that there's so many fire particles being spawned that that adds a lot of extra overhead to track all those little collisions. So the more performant way is the way we're doing it now. And the thing is, with all this new technology, we're trying to pinch as many frame rates, frames per second as we can to keep the game, from being so high end that people can't play it. So every CPU cycle counts, and particle collision is expensive. It's great for single player games, not great for multiplayer games.
It was announced that the update 1.1 would come sooner than most expected. So what did most expect?
I think most people didn't expect it to come out in quarter 3 or quarter 4 of 2023. That's what I think.
They're talking about the 1.1 update.
Oh, the 1.1 update? Not the 1.0 update. The 1.1 update will come out sooner than most people think, because most people are thinking that it's going to take another year after 1.0 comes out before 1.1 comes out, but that's not going to be the case. Because there's a whole lot less work to do to get 1.1 out, and we've already started on it. So by the time that 1.0 comes out, we'll have a lot of 1.1 work already done, and so then it's not going to take as long as people think it would, because most people would think it'd take another year.
What are the growth times for the 4 new playables?
You'll just have to play and find out.
Oh.
I can tell you that the Ravager's growth is going to be pretty much the same as the Flamestalker's growth.
Is there going to be any aquatic or semi-aquatic dragons or elementals in the future?
There will definitely be aquatic dragons in the future. Whether or not there will be aquatic elementals, the first 3 are not aquatic. Maybe the next 3 will be, because they come in 3s. So a water elemental maybe.
Is there any evidence of humans once existing, such as human structures, and will there be humans in the game?
You know, maybe in a far off distant expansion we'll have like humans arriving in a spaceship, coming to like harvest the resources here on Drakan, and you know, all the dragons of Drakan will have to band together to protect their world from the Sky People. But I don't really think that's ever going to happen.
Humans are icky.
There's no humans in this universe.
Can you show some of the new skin patterns?
Probably save that for another live stream.
Are we going to polish the ragdoll effects of the dead bodies?
Yes, we are actually working on ragdolls, and we're getting better at making ragdolls, and we'll probably end up doing like kinematic physics, where some of the ragdoll is driven by animation, some of it's driven by physics in the future.
Have we fixed the wonky baby Flamestalker eyeballs? Or the sideways jaw when it's holding things?
I really don't know what that I'd have to try to find out what that issue is. Do you know what that issue is?
Yeah, I know I think one of the baby pupils doesn't line up, and then when you hold things and turn your head as a Flamestalker, your jaw kind of dislocates, but those are more polished things, so those will definitely be touched up on the polished side. Will the Biolumin Dragon have different colored glowy bits on its content creator skin? Stop yelling at me.
I don't know. Whatever the skin looks like in what we showed, that's what it's going to look like in the game.
And will other skin palettes of the bio have different color glowy bits?
I do not know. We'll probably end up saving all the skin questions for the live stream when we show off the new skin system.
Will the Sand Slayer worm have a damage effect, like when the dragons show damage when they're being hurt?
Yes.
Will dragons have a dodge back animation, and will they show visual indicator besides a sound that they got hurt, like being, I guess they mean like an animation?
Will they dodge back after they're hurt? Is that what the question is?
I think that if they can dodge, it's a two-part question. If they can dodge, and if we're gonna have like a flinch animation when they get hurt.
Well, they already yelp when they get hurt. I don't think they're gonna flinch when they get hurt. I mean, they're dragons. They take a licking, they keep on ticking.
Will we have an animation for the alt turn?
Probably. I'm not sure. The way we do alt turn right now, where you're just turning in place, you really can't do a good animation for that. It just looks weird, and it's really. But if we do a root motion animation where the animation is making you turn instead of the game is just rotating you, then I could see us doing it.
What will be the methods for eldering, and will it still be finding items like mushrooms that other players can grief by eating them with the wrong species?
I'm not answering any questions about the new eldering system. Sorry, but you're gonna have to find out on your own.
The next question is about skin creation, so I'm going to skip that, but save it for the next live stream. Could the Blitz eggs need the cold of a high altitude found in mountains to incubate?
Blitz like temperate climate for incubation, somewhat warm. So it's going to be extremely difficult for certain species to nest in really cold or really hot climates.
Will some of the environments be impacted by weather seasonal changes, such as tidal waves or other environmental impacts?
It's hard for me to answer those questions because we're not there yet.
Will the water dragons be able to jump out of the water and catch things, or even glide like flying fish?
Well, we do plan on them being able to jump out of the water and catch food that's like floating on the water. And we might have some that can fly a little bit out of the water. So, but not like fly, but be able to, fly a little bit, but not kind of like flying fish.
Is there an ETA on the new nesting mechanics and the skin system?
Update 1.0 is the ETA.
Will the volcano in the lava lands erupt?
We are looking at ways to make that happen. It would be like a server event, and it would change the lava lands when it happens. But there's a lot of testing and playing around with those types of features and technology before I can answer that question. In single player, it's easy. These things are really easy to do in single player games, but in multiplayer games, it's, especially when you have 100 players on the server, it's totally different. Because if it happens on a server, it affects everybody that plays on that server and all the new players that will be coming to that server. So the first question we got to ask is that something that we want, is like server changing cataclysmic events, and if the answer is yes, then we have to ask the question, under what conditions do we allow this and event to take place? And then once we figure that out, then we got to ask the question, how do we do it? And how do we do it in a way that doesn't kill performance, in a way that is persistent, in a way that looks really, really good. So we're just not there yet. Got way too many other things to worry about before it's something that I want to look at in the future, but that's way in the future.
Will the death fog instantly kill you, or is it a slow killer?
It's an instant killer. You go down there, you're dead.
Will the Blitz Striker be able to cling to trees and rock faces?
Trees, no, but cliffs, we are planning on it.
And will it constrict its prey?
No, it's not a constrictor. It's a zappy, bite, swallow its food whole.
What would happen if a Blitz tried to stun an elemental?
I guess you guys will just have to find out, because I know it won't work on the lightning elemental because they're completely immune to stun. As far as the other elemental, the ice elemental and the fire elemental, we'll have to just wait and see.
Will the new dragons be put into the legacy version, since some people will not be able to play the new version due to graphics, and that would make a lot of people happy?
I gotta first figure out how many players it's going to affect, and we'll figure that out just by looking to see how many people are still on the legacy servers. If we still have a lot of people playing legacy because they can't play Unreal 5, because they just can't run it. And anybody that's, I would say that if you have any kind of like RTX video card, a 2060 or better, you're not going to have any issues. If you are still on a 1060 or a 960, you are definitely going to have low frame rates, but it'll be playable. It just depends on what your definition of playable is. As far as like putting dragons into the legacy version, it really boils down to whether or not I have time, because I got a lot on my plate, and if I stop working on 1.0 to go back and develop legacy, then all the other developers that are waiting on me to get my work done so that they can keep working on their work, they get put on hold, and that's not a good situation. What might be something that we could do is, if 1.0 is really successful, I could hire another programmer to update the legacy version. So that option's on the table. But me, I really don't have the time.
When will the test server open after the live stream?
It'll be open next week.
Is the finishing move for the Magma a one-shot for dragons?
Yes. It doesn't. Like, you can't finish move on like a behemoth. You can't just like one-shot the behemoth. For smaller dragons, definitely. But that's something that I have to test on the test server, and we'll see exactly how we want to do that. If we want it to be like a instant kill for small dragons, I don't really want it to be an instant kill for large dragons. It might not even fire. Maybe the player can't even use the ability until another dragon's health is really low. So that's something we got to figure out on test server.
Will there be negative effects to dragons who do not live in the lava lands that come into the lava lands?
Other than like temperature, not really. I mean, any dragon can come to the lava lands, but if you're a cold-loving dragon, it's pretty hot here, so you might not want to be here very long. Temperature does have an effect on dragons, especially with nesting. We have thought about making a debuff as well, like you get less stamina if you're in a environment that's not suitable to you. But before I can do that, I got to make sure I have a climate that's fitting for all the different dragon species.
How long will it take for the lava lands to be finished?
I don't know. Any question that asks me like how long is something going to take, you can put something in the game, you can be working on something, and everything goes so well that you're like, wow, I got all that done in like 2 hours. But then you could also like be stuck for days, like literally days, trying to fix one bug. So game development, when somebody asks how long, a developer can't honestly answer that question unless it's already done. And if it's already done, then I can say, oh, here's the date it's going to be out, because I can, it's already done.
Will there be any way to get the Biolumin Dragon if you're not a Kickstarter supporter?
Like, get the DLC key, or be able to play as a bio? Because
Not sure.
anybody can play as a bio, you just gotta get nested by another bio. And the bio that nests you doesn't have to be a Kickstarter. It could be somebody that got nested in by a Kickstarter. But to actually be able to own the bio DLC, you have to be a Kickstarter or get the key from a Kickstarter who has the key.
Will the jungle and swamp be added to the Forgotten Forest?
Yes. Yes, the Forgotten Forest map. I'm actually bringing that back from Legacy. It's going to look a little different, but the general design will, the height map will be there. The north side of the map will be covered in redwoods, the middle of the map in grasslands, and the southern part of the map will be jungle.
Is the testing server available for anyone, or just Patreons and Kickstarters?
Patrons and Kickstarters.
Will any skins made by the community be considered to be implemented into the game?
Well, if it's a really, really good skin, we would, definitely consider it.
Isn't the Elemental too slow compared to the actual dragons in play style?
I mean, the dragons are definitely a lot faster than an elemental, but the elemental has some tricks up his sleeves. He's got a different play style than dragons, and we didn't show it today because I haven't implemented it in the game yet, but he can transform himself into a rock. That's his special ability, and blend in with the landscape, so you wouldn't actually know that he was there. And then so he can use that as camouflage to ambush unsuspecting dragons, and he can take a dragon out of the sky with his rock throw attacks. So he won't be able to catch you, but he can ambush you, and that's mainly how he's going to be able to trap dragons, is he lets dragons come to him. Or he can go raid he could, if you're like nesting somewhere, well, he can go in and destroy all your nests and fight anybody that's wanting to challenge him. So.
And elementals will be able to group up, so one might not be as scary if you're trying to run from it, but when there's a whole bunch of them, they might be a little more threatening.
Yeah, and elementals, they don't need to eat to survive. Like, they don't eat dragons for food. They eat dragons basically to level up. So that's how they level, or not. That's how they progress. Eating dragons is their progression system. Hatchlings don't count, so eating a hatchling does nothing for them. Only dragons that actually can produce bile give them progression. So they don't hunt dragons for food, they hunt dragons for progression.
Will we make the growth system more fun, such as reducing the time you're a hatchling? Because it's pain to wait till half of the gameplay is over to start your dragon's life.
Can you ask me that again?
Yeah. Will we make the growth system more fun, like making the hatchling phase shorter?
No.
Personally, I like being a hatchling. They're pretty cute.
I know some people don't like taking a lot of time to grow, and we're actually pretty lenient compared to some other games where you know, their growth times are a whole lot longer. But the idea is that you have to survive to become an adult, and it's like any other game where you're progressing. Instead of in Day of Dragons, instead of like collecting, you know, collecting wood or mushrooms or whatever, or killing 10 rats, you know, which takes, you know, 2 or 3 hours of your time to level up to, you know, whatever level you're trying to get, level 5 or level 10. Instead, you take 2 to 3 hours of your time just trying to survive long enough to become an adult. So it's still progression. It's just a different type of progression. You're trying to find food and trying to not become food in Day of Dragons, instead of killing rats and collecting mushrooms or whatever, rocks.
Will the elementals have different skins?
Yes.
This is a cute question. Can elementals nest?
I'll let you answer that question.
Little rock babies. No, the elementals cannot nest. They do not grow either in the same sense dragons do. So there isn't a little tiny baby rockling. They spawn as full adults, and then through leveling up, they do progress. But it's different than dragons. What percentage of the game is done?
1%? I don't know. I don't know what's the 100% of the game. You know, is it like 1.0 or is it like 1.4? Is it 2.0? Is it 3.0? I don't know what 100% of the game is, so I can't give you a percentage.
Is there a chance that the big dragon comes to 1.0? I'm not sure if they mean the behemoth or ancient dragons.
I don't know.
For the behemoth, the answer would be no. He's not coming in for a little while until all the ice guys come in. For the ancient, not as a playable. Is there a reason the blitz nests only have one egg?
Yep.
Will the blitz lay on its nest to incubate its eggs?
Nope.
How's the Inferno's development going?
Really good. It's pretty much done.
We basically just have to add the growth in, the babies, and the juvie, and I think he's done after that.
Well, the growth's already in. We just got to put in the baby and juvie animations.
I want the babies.
Like, growth is a mechanic is like already, it's done for like every dragon now and into the future. It's like, it's just when we have to do baby and juvie animations for every dragon along with the adults.
How is the design concept for the fire behemoth going?
It's on hold right now. It's
Right
on
now,
hold. It's on hold because of I don't have time to work on. That's why we haven't shown off concepts in a while. We have a lot of designs that are in the queue, but you know, I haven't had time to work on them, and like I have a all the dragons in Day of Dragons, they get run through me. So like nobody just says here's a new dragon design, and you know, I actually am along that, you know, I'm part of that design from the beginning to the end, from the time that it's in the 2D concept phase to the 3D concept phase, to when we are starting to work on skins and modeling, and you know, and then when the animators check the rigs and you know, check different the morph targets, the blend shapes on it. You know, I'm there with it the whole way. So, and I've been so busy getting 1.0 stuff out, you know, into the game, that I haven't had time to work on concepts with Hal and Parrot and everybody else that's involved. So right now, Hal he's working on skins, so skins and model polish.
Is there going to be a storm elemental?
You mean like thunder?
I guess that would probably be the lightning one.
Yeah, thunder is a storm elemental.
His concept is also on hold right now. What happens if the elementals go into water?
I guess y'all are just going to have to find out.
Will the elementals have a crater skin?
No. Crater skins are just for the dragons.
Are any new dragon models in the pipeline?
Yes.
I think they want to know which ones.
Oh, we'll let you know later. The Mimicore. The Mimicore is the new Patron cosmetic dragon that some people don't know about yet. It's going to be a little class 1 or class 2 dragon. They can ride on the backs of other dragons. It's a flightless dragon, so it has small wings, but it can't fly, it can only glide. So it needs a lift. And it can mimic the sounds of other dragons, confusing other players.
Will the Inferno Ravager be able to walk on cliff sides?
Walk on a cliffside?
Yes, that was the question.
I not sure what that means.
I guess like cling on to cliffs.
Let's find out. I'm clinging on for dear life at the moment. That IK is looking pretty good. Uh-oh. Uh-oh! Cling, baby, cling! Nope, can't cling on the sides of the cliff.
When will the Blitz Bile attack be in the test server?
Soon. Trademark.
If we do mod support, will it be client side or server side?
I'm assuming that all mods that are in a multiplayer game are server side and client side. Or do you mean like server side, like a server authoritative? Or are you talking about like a single player mod by client side? Or you mean like it only shows up on the client or only shows up on the server? That question can have a lot of different connotations, so I'm not really sure what they're asking.
Is there any plans to have a cooldown for females that, oh my, for females that are breeding or nesting?
Isn't there already a cooldown?
No, I don't think so.
Hmm.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Is the answer.
We'll see. We'll see what the testers say after the nesting comes back into test server.
Will server owners be able to spawn in as a behemoth or elemental?
The elemental, definitely. Anybody can spawn in as an elemental. Behemoths, I mean, if you own it or have it unlocked. Oh, is that what they're asking? Like, can server owners spawn into creatures that they haven't unlocked on their own server?
I believe so.
No. The admin tools, see, we're trying to be careful about, like, we want to give admins tools to administrate their servers. We don't want to give admins tools to cheat on their servers. So we don't want to give admins the ability to, like, play sandbox, you know, on their server and just, like, have everything handed to them because they're an admin. You know, to me, that's game breaking. That's something those are like dev things that devs have for developer use, not admins, so that they can make instant in-game content servers. You know what I mean? Like, here's like something that it took somebody a month to get, and we're giving it to everybody just for joining our server. So I don't like that, because if they can spawn as behemoths anytime they want and as often as they want, then they can also breed and make lots and lots of eggs, and I'm against that kind. To me, that's cheating. So even though you're the server owner, to me it's still cheating.
Will the Blitz...
And since I'm talking about servers, by the way, everybody, save games are now encrypted. So that's like, boy, I'm blurry. That's like really awesome. Like, save game encryption is now a thing. So like server owners can't like modify saves now and unlock stuff for everybody that didn't earn it.
Will the Blitz be available on the testing server soon?
The Blitz has been on the test server for a while. Is that the question?
I think on the main test server, it is not available for any test right now. But it will be once we're working on it again. Right now we're focused on the Magma Elemental and other aspects. Is there any update on the hybrid dragon?
Yeah, we began modeling it. So it's the last Kickstarter dragon. And we started the modeling process. We're right now figuring out how to do its wings, because it's got 4 wings, 2 of which it uses for walking. And so we've had meetings. The modeling team and the animation team have all met and talked about different ways that we're going to approach dealing with the 4-wing design. We're not changing the look of the model. We're just looking at the best approach for handling 4 different wings. It's not a performance thing, it's a visual thing, it's aesthetic. So once we iron that, get that down pat, then we'll continue modeling it. Oops, I died.
Shame on you.
And we got about 7 minutes left before we've hit our 2-hour mark. So let's take one more question.
One more question. Let me find the one that has not been asked.
Let's make it a good one.
I'm reading through. Okay. How will genetic inheritance work in the future updates? Are they going to be multiple different physical, recessive, and dominant traits that can be inherited separately?
Okay, ask me that again a little slower.
Okay, let me find it again. I scrolled away. How will genetic inheritance work in future updates? Are there going to be multiple different physical, recessive, and dominant traits that can be inherited separately?
Will there be separate traits that can be inherited separately?
I guess if they're asking if there's going to be multiple traits. that you can get? Is it going to be more complicated of a genetic system?
There's going to be dominant traits and recessive traits, and basically each parent will have 2 genes that they pass on to an egg, and so there'll be 4 genes that the game is going to look at, and the most dominant gene will always be chosen to be passed on. When the genes are recessive, then it will look at other things such, like your mutation points to see which one has the most weight, and the most weighted recessive gene will pass on and become a dominant gene in the offspring. So hopefully that answered the question. And I know there's like probably 100 more questions, but we just don't have any more time. It's 7 o'clock, and we're going to wrap up this 2-hour-long live stream, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you all enjoyed what we showed off. Hope you enjoyed the questions we've taken time to answer. And this beautiful, beautiful Blitz Striker that's coming to Day of Dragons in Update 1.0, and along with the Inferno Ravager and the Biolumin and the Magma Elemental, and along with new AI. So we got a lot of new stuff coming. The skin you're seeing is the Crimson Patreon skin. If you are interested in being a Patreon subscriber, you can visit our Patreon at patreon.com/beawesomegames. We got a Drake tier, a Dragon tier, and an Ancient Dragon tier. The Dragon tiers get access to the Legends of Drakon comic book. They also get this beautiful red crimson Patreon skin that you can apply to your account, your Steam account, and then put it on all your dragons. And so if you haven't checked out our Patreon, give it a look. Also, we're on Twitter, we're on Instagram, we're now on Webtoon. So if you like reading comics, you can catch Legends of Drakon comic now on Webtoon. And we just put up 3 pages on Webtoon, and those were pages that we released last year, so it's going to be way behind the Patreon. Patreon gets the pages. They usually get a new page every month, so they got the latest version there on Patreon right now. We really appreciate all the patrons who support us. Patreon makes up a large portion of our operating budget and development budget that lets us make the game by being able to hire the developers and keep the developers that we have working on this game. We got a lot planned. We're working on a lot of things, and we're excited about releasing Update 1.0 later this year, and we believe it's going to be awesome, and you all are going to love it. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for being a part of our live stream. And Bad Parrot and Midnight, thank you both for all that you do, helping me. And, I definitely could not do this without you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks, Jo.
All right. That said, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.